What's going on, guys? Jiving back with another video. If you don't already know who I am, basically, I'm a competitive Fortnite grinder. I make tutorials, yada yada yada. Over the past few seasons, my placements have gone up from around top 3,000 to top 300. I'm on the verge of going pro, and in this video, I'm going to explain one of the most important things to getting to where I am and further in the game. Before we hop into it, please consider using code JIVINTV in the Fortnite item shop, or at least make sure you're using somebody's code because it helps us out a ton. Without further ado, let's hop into this video. The skill that you need to get is getting your mechanics to the point where it feels 100% natural. This means getting to the point where you don't need to think about your building, your editing, or your aiming at all during a fight. It literally just feels like walking. You need to get your mechanics to that point. That way you can put all of your attention, every ounce of attention, on the enemy in a fight. You can focus on tracking them in a build fight, piece controlling them, avoiding getting piece controlled, and all the other factors of the game. You can focus your energy on that instead of what you're building and aiming and editing. Like, all that stuff is just no problem. It's just like in basketball, you know. If you have to put your attention on dribbling the ball, you know, you're looking at your hands while you dribble, it's going to hold you back because you won't be able to analyze the defense. You won't be able to scout for plays, see when your teammates are open. You'll be missing so much because you're focused on that mechanic of dribbling the ball rather than everything around you. And a very similar thing is when you're playing an instrument. If you have to look at your hands while you're playing, you're not going to be able to focus on the sound of the instrument, you know, the exact volume that you're playing at, the pitch, and you won't be able to focus on the sheet music in front of you. So if we bring this back to Fortnite, how do you actually get to that point? There's a couple things we're going to be talking about. For example, lag, whether it be your ping or the server lag. We're going to be talking about how to practice in creative, and then talking about how you can practice in arena, practice tracking the opponent, even if your mechanics aren't fully there yet. So the first thing we're going to talk about is background mechanical practice. This is the stuff that you're going to be doing in creative and KOVAAKS. So throughout my time trying to improve, I've done almost everything imaginable in creative mode. So what are the things that help my mechanics out the most? When I was initially trying to get better at just basic building and editing, running stuff like Raider's mechanical practice map was what helped me out, just so I could get the initial consistency in my edits. That was the place that I went to. Like, if your piece control is not very smooth, you miss a lot of edits while piece controlling, then you're probably going to want to go to that map like 20-30 minutes every single day when you get on, until you get to the point where you can be in that map and edit pretty consistently and pretty quickly. After you get past that initial stage, the biggest thing that helps, in my opinion, is running 1v1s and learning high ground retakes. 1v1s, that is the most fast-paced fighting practice you can get. It helps you gain comfort with fighting under pressure. And if you're doing a 1v1, you're going to get way more fast-paced action than you would get in arena, because if you die, you instantly respawn into the 1v1 and you just keep going at it. If you matchmake into the 1v1 map in the description, you can find people to 1v1 all the time. Or you can 1v1 your friends. Just make sure you're 1v1ing people that, you know, you can't beat 10 times out of 10. You need to find people that give you a challenge. And then, like I said, another huge thing that helped me out was learning high ground retakes. A lot of people think that high ground retakes are not worth learning because you're not going to use them in an actual game. You're just going to run out of mats too fast. While that is true to a certain extent, learning high ground retakes is not just about the usefulness of the retake. It's about the challenge of learning difficult high ground retakes. Let's say you see a high ground retake and you try to learn it, but it's super difficult and you spend 30 minutes trying to learn it. Once you actually get it down, you're going to have a better understanding of how to build in Fortnite. It's more so about the practice of getting these difficult combos down. Every combo you learn, you just gain a little bit more comfort with building and editing, and that'll help you in the long run. It'll make you more flexible with building in the game, which is the entire point of this video. Gaining absolute comfort with every single building situation so you never have to think about it. And then the last thing that I've done that has helped my mechanics out a ton is just grinding KOVAAKS. Practicing in KOVAAKS is literally my favorite thing to do. I have 3 playlists on KOVAAKS that I made myself. The codes to those playlists are in the description. All you gotta do is copy and paste that code into the KovaaKs share codes function on KOVAAKS, and then you'll have my playlist. You can save it. Literally just play some music, hop into one of these playlists, and do this on the daily, and I personally find it to be relaxing, and it helps improve your mouse control and aim. When I say mouse control, what does that actually help with in Fortnite? It helps you become more comfortable moving the mouse around in a more accurate fashion. So if you're editing, it can help your consistency with your edits because you know how to control the mouse a little bit better. It can help you get that tight crosshair placement while editing, which helps with editing speed and consistency. So that's only for keyboard and mouse players, but if you want to practice your aim on controller, you can hop into some of the Fortnite creative map codes down in the description. So those are some of the best ways to get mechanics down. And now the thing that's tricky for a lot of people is how do you actually get that mechanical skill transferred over to arena and tournaments? Because there's a few things that are different. You know, the players in arena are going to be a little bit tougher. The players in tournaments are even going to be tougher than that. And the arena lobbies are going to be laggier, and tournament lobbies are even laggier than arena lobbies. So a lot of people struggle with transferring that skill over to arena and tournaments, but the answer is pretty simple. Once you have the skill in creative, all you have to do is practice a lot of arena to get that skill to transfer over. You need to get comfortable with your arena ping and the server lag, and you need to get confident fighting arena players. Once you get comfortable with the slight delay on higher ping in arena, you should be playing a lot smoother, and then it just comes down to learning how to outplay arena players. But all the stuff that you've practiced in 1v1s in creative should help you learn how to outplay arena players. As long as if you're practicing against good players in creative, it should help you outplay players in arena. One way to get more comfortable with your ping in arena faster is literally fighting every soul you see on the planet in arena. Let me just say, arena is not necessarily about grinding points. If you want to become a really good player, arena should be all about grinding fighting. One more thing that I did that helped me out a ton to get to the point where I am today in arena was I practiced focusing all my energy on tracking the opponent in a fight. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but sometimes when you put all of your attention on one thing while you're trying to improve, it can help you get better faster. One example of this is when I'm trying to learn a new move, I literally just focus on doing that move over and over again in fights. I lose more fights, but I learned that move and when it's useful by practicing it all the time. So it's similar. If you want to get better at tracking the opponent in a fight, then have it on your mind going into each fight. Okay, put all your attention on tracking the opponent. It sounds dumb, but I'm telling you, this helped me out a lot. It might help some of you out too. Eventually, after like 2 weeks of doing this, I felt way more confident in fights. I was starting to be able to predict where the enemy was going way more often just by simply putting more attention on the opponent in a fight. Try it out, let me know if it works for you guys. It worked for me, so hopefully it works for some of you. Now, if we're going to talk about tournaments, it's a very similar idea to the whole thing we just talked about with arena. Tournaments are laggier than arenas, so to get more comfortable in tournaments, you want to put yourself in that setting more often. So you want to be running scrims to get used to the lag of endgames. I noticed in my game back in the day that I used to get so focused on tunneling in endgames because it was laggier and I just felt uncomfortable. But after running scrims for a while, I got really used to that laggy endgame feel, and now I can put all of my attention on game strategy when I'm in endgame. I'm not focused on my building too much, I'm more so focused on getting good positioning. That's the whole idea of this video, you know, get comfortable enough with the mechanics of the game to the point where you can focus all your energy on game strategy and tracking opponents. So if you want to get better at tournaments, put yourself into more scrims. And then when it comes to fighting tournament players, I know they're a lot sweatier than arena. The best way to get better at that is fight better players in 1v1s. Keep networking and try to find really good people to practice against. You can find people on Scrim Discords, Twitter, Token 1v1s on Rematch. There's a lot of places to find people, but that's going to be the best way you can get that fighting practice against high skill players. In creative, that's why you see a lot of pros just running zone wars all day, because they want to get that practice against absolute sweats. Anyways guys, I know I just babbled on for like 10 minutes, but I hope this video helped some of you out. If it did, be sure to hit that like button, sub if you're new, use code JIVENTV, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.